In this clip, we're going to talk about downtown revitalization. And honestly, downtown revitalization deals with the heart and the soul of our downtown. That can be anywhere from the courthouse to the local business owners and the shops to ways in which we can improve the beautification of our community. So for those of you sports fans that are following along in the Daniel Plan, I'll kind of roughly be following that. Remember that the downtown really is our lifeblood. It is our heartbeat. There are so many people that have not seen what a beautiful courthouse we have, what wonderful shops we have, not only eateries, but places, printing shops and computer shops and jewelry shops and all of those kind of different things. We have some wonderful opportunities for citizens downtown, but instead, many people choose to go to Fort Wayne instead of shopping local, and that's a shame. I would like to encourage that downtown shopping, that downtown business. I'd like to bring in more visitors. We'll get to that here in a second. I do want to add the caveat that US 30 has been a wonderful opportunity for our city, for the businesses, for the industry, for residents coming through. US 30 has provided a wonderful business opportunity and a wonderful economic opportunity for Columbia City. So with that being the case, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that the downtown could really use to make it expand and improve. First of all, as mayor, I do want to continue the sidewalk program. I think it's been very effective. The 50-50 program has been wonderful in the fact that residents pay 50% and the city pays 50% for the new pouring of and development of their sidewalk. It's a wonderful opportunity. I hope that many people will take part of that, in that. Second, as mayor, I want to work with the street superintendent to get an inventory of streets that could use refurbishing, and work with the local and state officials to try to improve those traffic centers. People walking, people biking, people driving. That's where our roads come into play. Those are the critical pieces of our road infrastructure and our sidewalk infrastructure. So we need to make sure that we pinpoint those types of things. We go after those. We improve the places that need to be improved. I know specifically Line Street is one thing that we need to take a look at. There's, if you look at the road specifically on the south side of Van Buren, and going more toward the railroad tracks, you'll see a very dilapidated road. Even though they continue to patch it and do a wonderful job at keeping it together, it needs some major refurbishing. I know there are other road projects and there are other roads that we need to really be attentive to, and that's why I want to work with our street superintendent to make sure that those roads get addressed and those sidewalks get taken care of. Third, I want to work with city council and county government to encourage the beautification of our buildings. A lot of that has to do with business owners and building owners that won't put their private dollars into their buildings because it will cost them tax-wise. I talked to a local business owner right here in Columbia City that owns the building in which his business is in. And as soon as he improved some windows in the upper story of his building, his taxes went up at least twofold. That can't happen. That discourages private investment. It discourages the beautification of those buildings by the building owners. And quite frankly, it doesn't improve our community at all. So that's one thing I'd like to pinpoint and target with our county as well as our city council to try to find a way in which, I don't know if it's tax breaks, I don't know if it's tax abatements, I don't know what it's going to end up being. But I do want to look at that very critical piece to improving our downtown area. Fourth, I want to encourage the participation in Main Street. Currently, from what I understand, there is a combination between the Downtown Business Owners Association and the Economic Development Corporation to try to make Columbia City into an Indiana Main Street community. Now, as many of you know, I was part of OKRA, and one of the parts of OKRA is the Indiana Main Street program. So being a part of that Indiana Main Street program connects us with every other Main Street, and there's over 100 others here in Indiana that we can connect with. We can find out ways in which we can improve our community through things that other areas have done. That'll be critical for us to not only build a partnership there, but also be able to maybe leverage some grant dollars with that program. There's always work to be done in the downtown, and having those potential grant dollars possible is really going to be able to allow us to do some of those projects. Fifth, as mayor, I do want to partner with the Redevelopment Commission and continue the use of the building facade program. This is really an underutilized program, and I'm still working with a bunch of people to try to figure out why exactly it is underutilized. But the point of the matter is that in order to improve our facades, along with the tax credits, along with the Main Street program, we need to find a way to improve those facades through grant dollars, local grant dollars that we can kind of help out with. I do want to partner with the chamber as well to kind of spruce up some of these commercial areas. It's obviously in the interest of the chamber as well as the Downtown Business Association and other places to improve the facades of our buildings. Sixth, as mayor, I want to help make downtown a destination, and that's not just for citizens, but also for visitors that come into the area. Ways in which we do that is by adding some welcome signs, improving our gateways, and when I say gateways, I want to be clear, it's basically any road into Columbia City. Making sure that it's a welcoming, beautiful place for them to understand what kind of pride and sense of community we have here in Columbia City. On top of that, I want to make sure that we have things like wayfinding signage so that if people want to get to the Historical Museum, they can find where that is. Or they want to go to our beautiful downtown courthouse, that's available. Or to the Fire Museum, to get to the Firefighters Museum. Those are the kind of things that make a community cohesive. And if we have visitors coming in and they don't understand exactly where to go or what to do, they would probably much rather just stay on US 30 rather than coming downtown. And honestly, that's a loss for our heartbeat. Lastly, I do want to work with the City Council to place an ordinance on election years which prohibits signage until 30 or 45 days prior to the election. And I keep going back and forth with this. Quite frankly, in past elections, and this does not necessarily stem from the primary election, but in past elections we have a sign war. And that tends to take place earlier and earlier every year. One of the major things that I heard from residents as I went door to door was that they were sick and tired of seeing so many political signs so early. With that being the case, I thought that maybe the City Council and the Mayor's office, it would be good for us to kind of take a leading role on this. I know that Ligonier has something, I believe it's a 30-day prohibition for election signs. And that will beautify our community, and quite frankly, it would at least limit the time in which we would all have to see those signs. That's kind of, in a nutshell, the downtown revitalization piece of my mayoral campaign and the Daniel Plan. I hope that you'll stay tuned for a couple of these other videos that you'll be able to see some of the other things that I'd like to see done here in Columbia City, and you'll be able to see my vision. Again, if you'd like to send your vision or some of your ideas for the city, you can write me at RyanDanielForMayor@gmail.com. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you again.